So I'm currently recording this after the Falcons choked yet again against the Lions. This is the third time this season the Falcons lost a game where at some point they had more than a 96% chance to win. It's absolutely unbelievable. And after watching this type of choke job for the third time this year, I started thinking to myself that not too long ago, this team was a quarter away from becoming Super Bowl champions. How did a Super Bowl caliber team become a bottom feeder in 4 years? Welcome to Catch Up Sports. I'm your host Moses, and let's investigate this downfall. Let's first go way back to 2016, before the 28-3 debacle. The 2016 Lions finished with an 11-5 record and clinched the second seed in the NFC. Coached by Dan Quinn, recently the Seahawks defensive coordinator, the coordinator of the Legion of Boom, the best defense the NFL has seen since the '85 Bears. Offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, son of legendary coach, two-time Super Bowl champion Mike Shanahan, who constructed the league's best offense, averaging 33.8 points per game, led by MVP quarterback Matt Ryan and also the best wide receiver in the league, Julio Jones. With this amount of offensive firepower, the Falcons breezed through the playoffs, blowing out Russell Wilson and the Seahawks 36-20 in the divisional round, and blowing out Aaron Rodgers and the Packers 44-21 in the NFC Championship. Then, in the Super Bowl, and I'm not going to go into many details, the Falcons were a quarter away from becoming Super Bowl champions with a 28-3 lead, but ultimately came back to win the game in overtime 34-28. For Falcons fans, this was a very hard pill to swallow, but it looked like it was just the beginning for the Falcons, a beginning to a very successful tenure. With all the key players returning to the Falcons next season, the sky was the limit for this team, a young, talented, hungry roster. In addition, the Falcons signed Pro Bowler defensive tackle Dontari Poe from the Chiefs to shore up that run defense. That wasn't the best in 2016. The only key departure was offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, who became the 49ers head coach that offseason. But they did hire the Falcons' Steve Sarkisian, former college coach, as their new offensive coordinator. But again, with the player personnel staying the same, the sky is the limit for this team. It's still a Super Bowl roster. And the 2017 season was another solid season. The Falcons finished 10-6 and clinched a playoff spot. The defense significantly improved from the 27th best defense in 2016 to the 8th best defense in 2017. But the big concern about this team was surprisingly the offense. Since Kyle Shanahan's departure, the offense's efficiency dipped under Steve Sarkisian. In 2016, the Falcons had the best offense in the league, averaging 33 points per game. In 2017, the offense was ranked 15th, averaging less than 20 points per game. It's clear that the defense carried this team. The Falcons were the only team from the 2016 playoffs to make it to the 2017 playoffs. And in the playoffs, they convincingly beat a young, inexperienced Rams team in the wildcard round, and were bound to face the number 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round. The Falcons were heavily favored in this matchup, because that year, Eagles starting quarterback Carson Wentz, who was having an MVP-type season, tore his ACL and was out for the season. The Falcons just needed to beat the Eagles, led by their backup quarterback Nick Foles. The Falcons' defense did its job that game, and they held the Eagles to only 15 points. But the offense, who was inconsistent for the entire season, fell short again, scoring only 10 points. this season was a major disappointment for a Super Bowl contender. But like last season, the roster stayed pretty much the same, and the team was only a year removed from a Super Bowl appearance. The Super Bowl window was still at least thought to be wide open. In 2018, the Falcons attempted to be the first team to play the Super Bowl in their own stadium. And this looked even more possible after drafting wide receiver Calvin Ridley out of Alabama, the best receiver to come out of that draft, to add some more firepower to an offense with a lot of potential. Unfortunately for the Falcons, they got riddled with injuries, losing 7 starters to injured reserve, stumbling to a 1-4 start. The Falcons did equal their record to 4-4 after a 3-game win streak, and playoff hopes were still alive. But those hopes were crushed with a 5-game losing streak that eliminated the Falcons from playoff contention. This season was concerning. The defense totally collapsed, becoming the 25th ranked defense, allowing 26 points per game. And the offense, which did improve to a top 10 ranked offense, but it couldn't carry the team like it did in 2016. It wasn't the dominant offense that carried the team to the Super Bowl. Although the offense showed signs of improvement, offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian was fired at the end of the season, and hopes for a Super Bowl berth were fading away. And also in addition, Dan Quinn also fired his defensive coordinator and special teams coordinator. So the future success of this franchise is now on Dan Quinn's shoulders and his alone. Okay, now it's 2019. The roster has significantly aged. It's a shell from its Super Bowl form. Dan Quinn, the Falcons' defensive-minded head coach, only had 1 season with a top 10 defense. The rest, the defense was in the bottom 20 of the league. And really, he's the only one to blame. In the 2019 season, the Falcons had the worst start to the season since 2003, with a 1-7 record. Even though they were eliminated from playoff contention, the Falcons went 6-2 in the final half of the season to finish the season 7-9 for the second time in a row. This 6-2 run saved Dan Quinn's job, for now at least, but he's now on very thin ice. The team isn't that good anymore. Now, present time, it's 2020, and this season is a disaster. Dan Quinn, in the second year with a new coaching staff, totally new coordinators, has totally failed. The easiest way to prove this is the famous onside kick versus the Cowboys. The Falcons led by 2 points with less than 2 minutes left in the game. The Falcons just needed to cover the onside kick to win the game. The rules of the onside kick is that the ball needs to cross 10 yards so the kicking team could recover the ball. But the receiving team can recover whenever they wish to. They don't have any restrictions on when to recover the ball. On that kick, the Falcon special teams unit was clearly unprepared, not knowing the rules of an onside kick, what I just told you. The Falcons waited for the ball to pass 10 yards. Then, because of that fateful error, the kicking team, the Cowboys, recovered the ball and ultimately won the game. The fact that the coaches didn't prepare their players for that play, for such an important play, is unacceptable and embarrassing. Dan Quinn was fired from the team with an 0-5 record. Now the Falcons are 1-6, with no light at the end of the tunnel. Now, in hindsight, what could have the Falcons done to prevent this miraculous downfall? I think it all comes back to the offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan's departure. Kyle, like his father Mike, construct a very successful and unique offensive scheme. The zone blocking scheme that relies heavily on play action, and you can see it every time you watch a 49ers game. The point is, Kyle Shanahan, with his unique and successful scheme, made the Falcons' offense jump to another level, and his departure hurt this team a lot. It's easy to say, well, the Falcons should have just promoted Kyle Shanahan as their head coach. But in 2016, that wasn't possible. You don't fire a head coach after he led you to a Super Bowl berth. But the major error was after Kyle Shanahan's departure, instead of hiring or promoting someone who knew the zone blocking scheme Shanahan runs, or at least runs a similar offensive scheme, because that scheme absolutely worked. The number one offense in the league, a quarterback MVP, and a Super Bowl berth. The Falcons took a risk on an offensive coordinator who implemented an entire new scheme that there's no guarantee it'll work with your offensive personnel, and which now in hindsight, it clearly didn't work. I truly believe if the Falcons kept using the zone blocking scheme on offense like Shanahan did, or at least something similar, the Falcons would have made a deeper playoff run in 2017, and they would still be a playoff contender today. But they took a risk on a different offensive scheme, and the rest is history. This is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed this video as I enjoyed recording it and writing it. Comment down below what are your thoughts about this video, and do you agree with me or not? I'd love to know. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. Let's grow this community as much as possible. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.